Meet my new friend Cam. Cam is a 21-year-old aspiring professional basketball player from Wales. This year, he made the exciting decision to move to the other side of the world to immerse himself in the thriving basketball scene of the Philippines. Cam's been documenting his journey in the Philippines through super entertaining videos. Definitely check out his content, link below. Cam is a genuinely cool guy with a fascinating story. We talked about his dream of going pro, his first impressions of life in Manila, the contrasts between playing basketball in the UK and the Philippines, and so much more. I hope you guys enjoy the video. You're in the Philippines right now, right?
Yeah, I'm in the Philippines. I've been here for around since the 22nd of January, so just over 2 months. I got 6 weeks left on my visa, but I might extend it because I work online, so I'm got flexibility, which is good. So.
And where are you from originally?
I'm from Wales in the UK.
What part of Wales are you from?
A place called Aberystwyth. It's a small town. So I grew up on a farm and stuff. So yeah.
How is your Tagalog coming along? Are you learning it?
I'm learning slowly but surely. So a lot of people, my friends, they always sprinkle in Tagalog here and there. So I'm definitely, learning. But it's a hard language to pick up.
The grammar is very different than English for sure.
My Tagalog is for sure like very, very broken. But people kind of get the gist. I can say like the basics. So I want to learn more though, for sure.
What are some things that you can say in Tagalog? What are some phrases that you remember?
Yeah, obviously, magandang gabi, magandang umaga, all of that stuff. Pogi.
Bogey.
Yeah, salamat po, all of that, the basics. And then I know random stuff like kaliwa, kanan, like left and right, dito, here. So random stuff like that. I know, but I wouldn't say I'm good enough to formulate a sentence quite yet. So
yeah, well, that's good. It's a good place to start, though. It's an unusual language to learn, like in that not very many people do it, because Filipinos speak English really well. And I don't know, it's just kind of a language that flies under the radar. Like if I'm talking to people here in Canada, a lot of them might not even know what Tagalog is. So it's kind of awkward. Like I'll speak with people and I'll say like, oh, I speak Filipino, because I'm like, they're not going to know what Tagalog is. And sometimes people are like cool with that. And then sometimes people are like, oh, Filipino? Don't you mean Tagalog? You don't even know what it's called? And I was like, hey, I was doing that for you. I thought you wouldn't know.
Especially because there's so many different like dialects of it, or languages in the Philippines. So makes it quite a random language to learn.
For us English speakers, learning Tagalog can be a real challenge. Trust me, I've been there. That is exactly why I decided to create my beginner's Tagalog course. With over 10 years of experience speaking Tagalog, I made sure that each and every video lesson is jam-packed with only the most useful information. When it comes to this course, the only thing I regret is not having it when I first started learning Tagalog. Ready to learn? Click the first link in the video description below to get started. Now, back to the video. I mean, it's also kind of random to move from Wales to the Philippines. How did that take place? What made you decide to do that?
So I graduated from university last year, and my friend from university, he's from the Philippines. And around this time last year, so his plan was to move back to the Philippines. He now plays professional football here, but his plan was to move back to the Philippines after uni. And he was always saying like, I should go with him. I'll have a place to stay with him. And I was like, yeah, maybe. And then after uni, I got a job, like a research job. It was 3-month contract, which ended up being perfect because I just decided once that contract ends, I'll have money saved up to go out to the Philippines. So I came here in January once the contract ended, and I stayed to live with him. But there's a few reasons why I wanted to do it. So firstly, just completely different culture to the UK. I wanted to experience something new. I love basketball. I'm trying to make it pro, and basketball is huge here. So, that also worked with it. But yeah, honestly, the main thing just to try something new. I managed to get an online job, so I was able to do it. And yeah, honestly, I'm so happy I did it. So it was pretty random, to be honest, the way everything kind of worked out. So
what did you study in university?
Yes, I did sport and exercise science in university, and my friend, he's also in the Philippines, he did that as well.
And did you play basketball in university as well?
Yeah, I played for the varsity basketball team, so yeah.
What does that look like then in terms of becoming a professional player in the Philippines? What track would you need to follow?
For foreigners to make it pro here, it is pretty hard because they have a lot of rules. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with the leagues here. The main league is the PBA. So in that league, there's allowed one foreigner, so one import per team. And so obviously, as you can imagine, that's hard to get a spot. MPBL is kind of, it's the next league, but it's similar level. They allow no imports. So that's kind of an issue. And I was aware of this before I came. But the thing is, what I found, there's other ways to get paid to play. So in the Philippines, they got, because basketball is so big, they got loads of different inter-barangay leagues and province leagues where some like really wealthy people will sponsor teams, and then they'll get in players to play for their teams, because then they'll bet on the games and quite a lot of money. So then they'll recruit players, and it can be imports, it can be whoever. They'll recruit players, pay them to play in these tournaments, and then if you win, you get extra money. If you can get bonuses by getting a certain amount of points, for example. So so the people I've been training with now, I've been playing inter-barangay leagues, and I haven't actually got paid for anything yet. I'm just, because I just got here, I can't demand money yet, but I've been in contact with some of the sponsors for the teams. So I'm hoping soon I'll be able, because they do stuff like they'll fly you out to an island where they have one of these tournaments, for example, and then obviously a lot of people come and watch and stuff. It's a great way to get paid to play basketball. And honestly, it sounds like the dream, just going out, getting paid to play basketball and going to the islands. So that's what I'm working towards right now.
Is basketball more popular in the Philippines than it is in the UK?
Oh, for sure. Basketball, it's been described as a second religion here. Like everywhere I go, there's basketball courts, people playing barefoot in the street. No matter what, the heat, like they're always playing. So I've heard Metro Manila is the basketball capital of the world, even more than America. So.
Wow. Yeah, I would believe it. I mean, walking around in the different communities, basically anywhere in the Philippines, there's always a basketball court. It's like the cornerstone of the barangay, right? And it seems like a very convenient way to kind of build community and meet people as well, because people are just hanging out. Lots of my videos that I recorded when I was in the Philippines were me in a basketball court, just like kind of shooting the breeze with people. And I don't even know how to play basketball. I'm not good at all. I didn't play it in school, but it's still an opportunity to meet people because people congregate there, right? What's like the average skill level? Are there really good players in the Philippines?
It seems everyone's like very good. And what I've kind of found because I've been doing stuff volunteering in the school, a lot of the kids, because they just go out and play basketball all the time, their motor skills and stuff are just very good. They're very coordinated because they just go play basketball. Compared to the UK, European basketball is a lot more kind of structured. Philippine basketball is kind of, because they just grow up playing it in the street all the time, it's kind of a case of just do what you want out there, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it means that they get very good at just reading the game. They're very creative. That's what I found. Like they're just smooth, creative, and physical. Very physical, because they just play in the streets. So
When you say that it's less structured, does that mean that it's not as like dependent on the rules? Like, oh, that was out or that was in, or like it's more people just having fun?
So, for example, when you shoot a free throw, like a penalty type shot, so the players like line up in the UK and stuff, in the leagues, there's a certain order to it. You have to be stood in a certain place. In the professional leagues, obviously, they'll be more strict on it. But in these inter-barangay leagues, even though there's referees, they don't really care. People kind of just stand, like, so stuff like that. And then there's kind of a few people have said to me, like, a lot of the time, if you pass the ball, you're not going to get it back. Like, people just be doing whatever they want. So
if you become like a professional basketball player in the Philippines, you find a way that you can make money playing, would you like to stay there like permanently? Would you like to move to the Philippines permanently?
Yeah, well, regarding basketball, my main goal is to make a proper professional contract long term. And if I'd be realistic, Philippines might not be the place for it, just because of all the rules on imports and stuff. And the reason they do it is because obviously they want to maintain their homegrown talent. Whereas countries like Malaysia, I've been looking into Malaysia, Taiwan, their leagues promote foreigners to come. They allow a lot of foreigners per team to play in the professional leagues, because, basketball is so big in the Philippines for the Filipinos, whereas Malaysia, it's not as big of a deal like for Malaysians growing up. So it makes sense. The Filipinos want to give, their people opportunities to thrive and play in these leagues. But I think I'm really trying to keep my options open, because I don't want to kind of limit anything off. But as of right now, my goal is to just get as much exposure as possible, improve as much as possible, and play in these province and, barangay leagues, where obviously it'd be great if I get paid. But, the main thing is just enjoying it and improving. So.
Have you spent most of the time in Manila? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, I'd say I've spent most of the time in Manila now. So I arrived in 22nd of January, and I stayed with my, the friend who plays football. I stayed with him for a week. And then, but during that week, I went to church here. So the church here knows my pastor from back home. And then he said, I just mentioned to him that I'd be happy to do some volunteering. And it turns out the church is set up. You might have seen in the videos that I said the church is set up other churches in like the provinces and stuff. So I actually got the opportunity to go to Quran, everything paid for. So I went to stay in Quran for 16 days. I was volunteering in the church and the school, but we also did hosted basketball tournaments and training. And this was honestly one of the best experiences of my life. And then I came back to Manila, stayed in the football friend's house for another week, but then his football team offered him accommodation. I was thinking where, I had to find somewhere to stay, but my church was so good. So I stayed with my pastor for a week, and then now I live in Quezon City, which is where my church is. So some people in my church do Airbnb, and then I just, stay in that section of their house now. So yeah.
So like when you first arrived in the Philippines, I mean, I imagine that it's pretty different than the UK is. What was that first kind of, couple weeks like when you were getting used to it?
I think, well, because where I'm from is like a farm in rural Wales, and I came straight to Manila, probably the most busy place I've been in my life. It was a bit of a shock. And the thing is, so I'd say I've experienced quite a lot of different parts of Manila, like Makati, which is very kind of high-rise buildings, condos. I remember my first day, I arrived, and then me and my friend went out for food in Makati, and it was extremely clean. Everything was so nice. I was like, wow, this is like an amazing city. But then I quickly got to realize it's not all like that. The wealth disparity in such close proximities is kind of crazy when you really see it. Like you'll have all these high-rise buildings, condos, swimming pools, everything. And then 2 minutes walk away, you'll have people living in poverty. So that was quite a big culture shock. In the UK, there is poverty and stuff, but not as close proximity to, Gucci shops, Dior shops. Like that was kind of crazy. Another thing that caught me off guard was the amount of security guards everywhere in these places. Like when I first came, I thought maybe crime is just ridiculously high. I was confused, but now I think a lot of it is also because it provides jobs for people. So that's what I kind of think. So
that was one of the things that I noticed when I first got there as well, was all the security guards. And I think it's interesting what you mentioned too about the wealth disparity. It does kind of hit you when you're in the city, like I felt really guilty when I was in the Philippines because like you said, you'd be in like a really bougie neighborhood and then 2 streets over, there's like someone sleeping on the street and it's like, oh, like that just like doesn't feel right. I think sometimes people will insulate themselves from that, like by just living in really expensive neighborhoods. But if you're actually moving around the city and going from one neighborhood to another, it's kind of unavoidable. And it's really sad, honestly.
When I was in Makati for the short time I was there, we were in a condo and I just felt it was just a bit wrong. Like also they got people opening the doors for you and stuff. Like I'm 21. I just felt I didn't deserve it, especially when you go down the street and there's people who are really working so hard in their jobs and they're not, they hardly have a house. So yeah, but I'm glad now I'm in Quezon City and it's a much more kind of local area. Like it's like an actual Philippine area. It's a regular house. So, I just feel a lot more connected to the community. Being in Makati and BGC and stuff, it just feels a bit like a bubble away from what's actually going on, so
100%. Yeah. As soon as you get to like some more removed areas, a little bit more remote, like even Cavite, which I think is also, like Tagaytay is also relatively upper class, but even there it feels like you're more provincial, and yeah, the more that I got away from BGC and Makati, the more that I enjoyed my time in the Philippines, to be honest. Like, because if I want to hang around with like other Western people going to expensive restaurants, I'll just stay in Vancouver. Like I want the authentic feel of the Philippines. That's why I would want to go there. Things like security guards and people opening doors, I think you're right in that they're there to fill a role in the economy. I noticed that every business I went into, I'd get like flogged by like 5 people.
I remember on my first day, first thing I did, of course, was go buy a basketball. But bro, there was like 4 workers helping me find the basketball. I was like, is this necessary? And then when you go to the shop, like the supermarket, you got someone doing the money, like the cashier, and then a separate person like packing the bags. And then you got security when you come in. Someone like, yeah, there really is. They do create jobs. Overall, it is a good thing because it keeps people employed in such a densely populated city. So, it does make sense when you look at it that way. But, when you first come in, you are kind of like, slightly surprised when you see it also. Yeah.
But I guess it also leads to like really good customer service, which I like.
Customer
Yeah.
service here is incredible. You can't fault them for
Uh-huh.
that. So.
How do local people there treat you with you being a foreigner?
Really well, actually. A lot of people just stare as you walk. People, ask for photos, stuff like that. But on the basketball court, it's cool. Like a lot of the time, I'm the only foreigner on the court playing, and I'm in a local area where I'm living. There's not really much reason for a foreigner to just randomly come here. So I definitely do stick out when I'm just walking around. But everyone's super nice, super friendly. They love to ask where I'm from and ask questions about, I guess, the outside world. So yeah, people are really, really nice. So they're happy to just come up to you. In the UK, especially UK, the people are quite like standoffish. So it's very rare people go, "Hey bro," and like start a conversation. Here, like 5 minutes and you got like 3 kids come up to you like, "Hey bro, where are you from?" And like people wanting to be in the videos, the vlogs. Like they also love, I feel like in the Philippines, they love social media and vlogging and content creation. And yeah, they really love that. So anytime you have a camera out, they love it.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, what's your name on YouTube or whatever? What you have TikTok? Vlogger."
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the Philippines would take pictures with me if they saw me filming something, but they had no idea like what my channel was or anything. Yeah, just in case I'm somebody, they're like, "Oh, you just better take a photo with them." What about Filipino food? Have you been trying some different dishes there?
Don't get me started on the food. The food's so good. So regarding favorite foods, honestly, and I feel like this might be a controversial one, but I think lumpia, that one, I think it's incredible. Like, and obviously you got chicken adobo, all that stuff, and the mangoes. But lumpia, because they're so cheap, you can just get just 1 or 2 sticks for not much money. Sometimes I'm just walking around and some street vendor will be selling it, and I'll just buy it. Like, it's super nice.
You're talking lumpiang Shanghai, the one that has pork in it?
The one with the vegetables in it, I prefer.
Okay, like the vegetarian one. Now, is that the fried one or is it raw?
Fried.
The fried. Okay, yeah. I've mostly had the Shanghai one with pork, but I think I've had the veggie ones before too, and they're all really really good. With that banana ketchup, that's good too.
Yeah,
good combo.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the kind of Filipino food is coming to me. So before I hopped on this call, after training, I quickly had some food, but I had rice and eggs for breakfast, which is very Filipino. So yeah.
Yeah, the rice for breakfast is that's like next level. Like I mean, we eat rice in the West as well, but never for breakfast, right?
No, rice is life. They always say that.
So lumpia, that's your favorite so far?
I think so, but there's so many. There's a lot of them that I still don't know the name. Like some people I'll be with where they'll be like, "Oh, try this," and I like it, but I don't know the name. But I think I've tried a lot. Like I've had balut, chicken feet, one day old chicken, like everything. So I'm always down to try them.
You have to try balut. That one's pretty challenging for most people that aren't from there.
Well, the funny thing is, like when I first tried balut, it was like nighttime, and we just went and tried it, and I genuinely didn't realize what it was. I thought it was just a boiled egg, and then I ate it, like just put it all in, and then I felt like a slight like crunch, and I was like, "People, hot? Did I eat some shell?" And then they were like, "Nah, you realize what that was, right?" And I was like, "Oh, it was actually right," so I ordered some more. So yeah,
the balut sometimes has that hard little piece in it. Now, when you ate it, did you bite into that, or did that one not have it?
It had it, but I was like, I thought it was some shell. I was just confused. It's the beak, right? Am I right in saying it's the beak?
No, well, I mean, yes and no. Like the beak is crunchy in the balut, but it has I don't know what part of the egg it is, but I think it comes from the white part. It's like a white stone, basically. When I went to the Philippines in May, I tried it, and we were like filming a video. Before we ate it, they were like, "Hey, just so you know, there's this hard kind of stone in it, so watch out for that." And there was in that one. Like you couldn't eat it.
Oh, okay. Maybe I didn't have the stone then. There was a crunch to it. Maybe that was just the beak. It wasn't enough to be like a hard stone you can't eat. So
I mean, the way that you did it is probably the way that you should eat balut, honestly. Like if you don't know what it is, the flavor is fine, right? It's all like psychological.
It's all in the head. Like it just tastes like a normal, boiled egg
with like a meaty part. It's like a meaty boiled egg.
Yeah.
What would you say like the biggest differences are between Wales and the Philippines?
The temperature. Culturally, though, like I said before, UK, United Kingdom people are quite standoffish. Filipinos, I know people always say it, but friendliest people in the world, like they really are. It's not many places in the world, I don't think, where you walk around and anyone will start a conversation with you. I'd say that, like the openness of people and the hospitality. But there's a lot of things to it, because obviously Metro Manila is completely different to the provinces, because the provinces is really like slow, kind of quiet life. It's very relaxed. Metro Manila is just super chaotic and loud a lot of the time, depending where you go. But yeah, I'd say culturally, the openness of people.
You're on an exciting adventure, man. I'm happy for you. Did you have anything else that you wanted to go over that we didn't touch?
Maybe my time volunteering in the schools and stuff.
Yeah, tell me about that. That was in Palawan, in Coron, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a funded school, funded by the church, because a lot of the kids around there don't go to school.
You were a part of some volunteering there. So what was your role in that? What were you doing?
So the primary thing of it was hosting these basketball camps for the kids, because it was all done through the church. The whole objective was to kind of push the kids to get back involved with the church, because especially if they're not going to school, the church is such a good not just a resource for them, because obviously, like, I'm Christian, I believe God is real, like it's great for them to believe in God, but in terms of just their lifestyle, the church can really help a lot of these people. Like, they run stuff for the kids to do, they provide some food for them. Like, if they get involved with the church, it can really push them in good directions in life. So, we play basketball with them. At the end of the basketball session, the church would provide food and water for them. And then we do a little talk to them after, kind of like a motivational talk. And then we'd invite them to come to the church. One thing we did is, for example, the award ceremony, we did it after the church service. So the kids would come to the church service and then they'd stay for the award ceremony. So it was really just getting them involved with the church, and because they love basketball so much, it was a good vessel to do it. And they really enjoyed the basketball as well. And they managed to, have a tournament, which honestly, it went a lot better than I expected it to. There was a lot of people that went. So,
well, that's awesome. And you're the perfect guy to do it, with your background in basketball and your passion for the sport. Perfect combination.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot while doing it. So, yeah.